Welcome back to another reading and correcting with me, Kindar, the Tiger Writes, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch, and if you are looking to support me, that is, on my Patreon. Today we are doing chapter 39 of The World Which Is. As soon as we're out of Ellen's neighborhood, Brendan takes us to back alleys and smaller streets with an ease that makes me think it isn't the first time he's had to leave in a hurry. We have one close call when a group of police officers turns into the alley we were using, but Brendan has the door unlocked and us in it before they can see around the container we hid behind. The room looks and smells abandoned, and I spend the 10 minutes we wait to be sure they're gone, doing my best not to think about what makes the skittering noises. Silver gives a solid shudder once we're out and muttering something unflattering about rats. We make it all the way past the pond before the next problem. This one, a reminder that most people sticking to back alleys aren't of the savory kind. 8 of them against 4 of us goes much more in our favor than I expect. Brandon has 3 down before one of them reaches me. I hold my own. And I hold my own sword to sword well enough, not ending up on the ground for once. Ellen's voice is clear, even if the words are incomprehensible, and before she's done, they're running off. She lowers our hands with a smirk. Your sword fighting skill has gone up. You are now level 19. Yes! Then my face heats up as they look at me. My sub skill went up. Congratulations, Ellen says, amused. Let's be careful, Brendan says. The people in this area aren't to get any nicer. We make it to kill without further problem. Either of you have something with a hood? Brendan asks, looking left and right at the people. This is a more important road based on how crowded it is. I do, Silver says. I don't. Put that on your list of things to get. It's not just a good it's not just good to hide your face, but it keeps you drier while traveling. We won't always be able to count on my sister to keep us dry. Don't count on it already, Brian. He mumbles something. I I get buying I I can buy one now if you know where I can get one. This close to the market, one of the stall along the roads will have something. You're the you're the one they are looking for, Ellen points out. I might be I might be the one described to the police, but you can be certain Xander has people looking for Dennis too. Okay. We mix with the crowd and keeps our head low, Ellen snorts. Dennis, I'll point you to a decent cart and you get an oiled poncho. We'll get you proper equipped for the for the road. For the road at the first rest stop. Oh, and keep an eye on your money. Crowds like that are rife with pickpockets. Wait, I say, following him into the crowd. How does picking my pocket get them anything? It's not like my money is there. It's kept by the system. You're going to have to query the system about it. All I know is that if they make the skill check, you lose money, and the only way to get it back is to catch them. There's got to be something better. Convert it into items you can then sell to make it back, Alan says. But that opens you to the other problem, like making sure you get your value back. And okay, I need to current to system into item you can sell to make it back. Alan says get Let and container. A good lock on it. So convert it to items you can then sell to make it back in a container with a good lock on it. But that opens you up to other problems like making sure you get your value back. And it doesn't keep thieves from getting that too, Brendan said, pausing to look at the. Oh, actually, never mind. I did. I had covered that. So that's there. But you can buy pouches that have bonuses against being picked, Ellen replies. The system has nothing to safeguard your money. At the fourth cart, I buy the poncho Brendan picks and put it on. It goes in my head spot slot. In the head slot for my equipment so I can add it to my quick switch. And it drapes over my jacket. And then as us change side a few times, her height lets her see over the crowd. On the other side of the intersection of Bloor and Kiel, the terrain opens up with a caravan pulling up into a gated fence. Brandon curses, and I see the officers checking everyone entering, going as far as having them pull the hoods down. Okay, I guess hoping to be here before them wasn't realistic. Come on. He heads west on Bloor. Wouldn't it make more sense to go to one of the other entrances along the east side? Ellen asks. They're going to be checked. They're looking for a murderer. They aren't going to take chances. Then won't they be guarding any of the entrances on this road? I ask. There aren't any caravan entrances to the fence here. They only, you know what? There aren't any caravan entrances here. The only entrance is reserved for those who own the inn, and they won't let just anyone through. He grins. Fortunately for us, I know the owner, and I can convince him to let us in that way. I make out the building. That has to be the inn, simply by how large and tall it is, with its back replacing part of the tall wooden fence along the market. A crowd gathers at the far end of the building, and Bramden, as us, directs us up the next street. That wasn't good, was it? Silver asks. No. There shouldn't be anyone standing outside like that. Lair doesn't stand loiterers. Maybe they're customers waiting to be let in? Brandon gives me an almost roll of the eyes. They aren't. The question is, who are they? The question is who are they? Question is, who are they? And if they're waiting for you, Ellen says. We pass many alleys before taking one. Then we're meandering through them until he has us stand back and goes ahead to check. He isn't happy when he returns. There's a train of them with Bulward at the lead. He's Xander's right-hand man. He answers before I can ask. Which means he's going to be ready for me and anything I might pull. He looks at Ellen, which includes bringing you into this. He might look like nothing more than a mule, but Bulward is smart, and I've tangled with him a couple of years ago. He's strong and tough. So we go around and look for an entrance the police aren't watching? I ask. Brandon Brendan shakes his head. Lear had to he glances at me and Silver. Work really hard to get his door. No one else was willing to do what he did, it seems. And like I said, the police aren't going to slack off on this. He leans against the building. That means we have to travel alone. Can't we just get out of the city? Silver asked, then hook up with the first caravan we come across. Caravans don't take anyone once they leave. It's too dangerous. You never know who's out there. Could be a murderer, Ellen says, then grins at Brandon's glare. Then we go on our own, I say. The roads aren't that dangerous, are they? They lower the wilderness of the area, right? Safer doesn't mean safe, Brandon says, but it isn't like you and me have a choice. Silver, if you prefer staying, I'll understand. I'm going, Ellen says. You're going to need someone watching your back even more if you can't count on the safety of a caravan. I'm going, Silver says, but I'm in this for the story, and this is how they start. With a good plank falling apart? Brandon asked, pushing away from the wall. I'm going to call it with the adventurers adapting to a changing situation. Won't the police be watching all the ways to leave the city? I asked. It's what they do back home. Brandon smiles. The nice thing about a city without a wall is that there are far more ways out than people to watch them. Unless there's a river, Ellen says, then all they need to do is patrol the bridge. Nope, Brandon replies, grinning. Then all you need is being willing to get wet. He looks at Silver. Tell me the case for your violin is waterproof. Of course, she replies indignantly. Good. Then all we have to do is wait for night. Brandon has us spend the rest of the day in a wooded area close enough to the market we can hear the noises it makes once the sun sets. We're on the move. It's full dark by the time I hear the Umber River. It's the westward line. It's the westward city line. Although Alan says that officially the city didn't reach past the market yet. The river shore is patrolled, but the lights the patrol carry make them easy to avoid. The water is cold and the current strong enough we get separated. But Brandon planned for that, and as soon as I walk out of the wood, other side, I see the light from the farmhouse, and I join Brandon and his sister at the road leading to it. Not long after, Silver is with us, and Brandon leads us through the field. When he stops us to make camp, we're in another wood. We're going to continue west once there's light until we're past the farmland, he tells us over the fire boiling water. Then we'll head south until we reach the west road. We might have to push through some of the dark, but we should reach the first rest point before it's too late. Depending how busy the inn is, we might be able to get a bath each. Are there a lot of inns on the road? I asked. I then add, all we had between Court and Toronto were places on the side of the road for the caravan to pull off and make camp. There aren't as many heading east as there are going west, especially this section since it leads to Buffalo and Detroit. If we make the rest point tomorrow, then we should be able to reach the one at the split with enough time to take it easy. Although there's no telling if any of the inns will have space. He stands and produces a bedroll. Best get your bed ready. You're going to want to sleep as soon as we have the soup. As soon as we've had the soup, we're getting up with the sun in the morning. And that concludes chapter 39 of The World Witches. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter is going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read the story, it is up for free on Royal Road. And if you want to read ahead and support me in the process, that is on my Patreon, where we're about 10 chapters ahead, I think. And if you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. The links are in the notes, and with that, I shall wish you a good day.